Welcome to Famite Real Stories, Real Lives, the podcast where we share true experiences that remind us of the resilience of the human spirit. I'm your host, and today I want to share with you a story that will break your heart and then rebuild it with hope. This is the story of Marcus Thompson, a young man whose journey from poverty to promise was interrupted by an injustice. An injustice that nearly destroyed everything he'd worked for. But sometimes, in our darkest moments, we discover that help comes from the most unexpected places. Marcus, he gave me permission to share his story because he believes it might help someone else who's fighting their own battles. So, let me take you back to where it all began. Okay, so Marcus Thompson grew up in the East Side projects of Detroit, in a tiny 2-bedroom apartment he shared with his mother, Denise, and his younger sister, Keisha. His father had left when Marcus was 8, leaving only unpaid bills and broken promises. Denise worked 3 jobs, cleaning offices, serving lunch, doing laundry for neighbors. Marcus would watch her come home just exhausted, her hands raw, her feet swollen, but every single night she would sit with him at their wobbly kitchen table and help him with his homework. She'd tell him, "Education is the one thing nobody can take away from you, baby. You study hard, you work hard, and you'll have choices I never had." Those words, they became Marcus's scripture. By 14, Marcus was working to help pay the bills. He bagged groceries, mowed lawns, tutored younger kids. While others played video games, Marcus was grinding. His report cards were perfect. But perfect grades don't pay for college applications. He tells me his dream crystallized when he was 17. A customer at the grocery store, a well-dressed black man named Dr. James Wilson, a pediatric surgeon, struck up a conversation. Learning of Marcus's grades, he said something that changed everything. "Son, I grew up 3 blocks from here. If I can make it out and make it matter, so can you." That night, Marcus made a plan: mechanical engineering. He would make enough money to move his mom out of the projects and send Keisha to college. Senior year was brutal, juggling a perfect GPA with a 25-hour work week. Then the rejection letters came. Michigan, rejected. Michigan State, rejected. His mother found him crying at the kitchen table. He whispered, "Maybe college isn't for people like us." So Denise took his hands and said, "Baby, being poor doesn't make you stupid, and being smart doesn't make you rich, but being smart and working hard, that's a combination this world can't ignore forever." 3 days later, the acceptance letter arrived from Eastern Michigan University, a full academic scholarship. Marcus had made it. College was everything he'd imagined. He loved his courses, made new friends, and for the first time, wasn't worried about money. During winter break of his sophomore year, he came home with incredible news: a paid, prestigious internship at Ford Motor Company, a virtual guarantee of a job. On Christmas morning, he told his mother, "I'm going to buy you a house, Mama, a real house with a garden." Everything was falling into place until one cold February morning. It was 6:47 a.m. on a Tuesday, a knock on his dorm room door. Security, 2 Detroit police officers, and a federal agent. They had a warrant for his arrest. Charges: drug trafficking and money laundering. As they handcuffed him in front of all his dorm mates, all he could say was, "There's been a mistake. I don't know anything about drugs." The indictment claimed he was using college as a cover for a drug ring. The evidence seemed damning. Financial records, testimony from a dealer, even surveillance photos. Marcus knew it was a lie, but he was about to learn that truth and evidence are not always the same thing. The next 6 months were a nightmare. Expelled from university, scholarship revoked, internship canceled. Bail was set at $50,000, an impossible sum. He sat in Wayne County Jail watching his dreams crumble. His court-appointed lawyer in a 12-minute meeting advised him to take a plea deal.
Take the plea, serve 18 months, and get on with your life. Fight this, and you could get 10 years. But Marcus refused. He was innocent. His mother visited every week, her body frail from stress, but her spirit strong. "We're going to fight this baby," she'd say. But as the months passed, Marcus began to lose faith. During a hearing, Marcus's mother noticed a man in an expensive suit in the back of the courtroom. He approached her in the hallway. "Mrs. Thompson, my name is James Wilson. I believe I met your son a few years ago at Murphy's Grocery." It was the pediatric surgeon. "I don't believe your son did this," Dr. Wilson told her, "and I'm going to help you prove it." He hired a top private investigator and a new defense attorney. In 3 weeks, they unraveled the whole setup. The bank account was opened with a stolen identity, the dealer's testimony was coerced, and the surveillance photos, they were digitally faked. The real perpetrator was Marcus's own cousin, Jerome, who was jealous of Marcus's success and had stolen his identity to build a criminal enterprise on his cousin's good name. Faced with the evidence, Jerome confessed. The charges against Marcus were dropped. The prosecutor apologized. The university reinstated him. Ford offered him an even better internship. But the most important moment was when he walked out of that courthouse a free man. I spoke with Marcus last month. He's a mechanical engineer at Ford now. He bought his mother that house. His sister Keisha is studying pre-law to help people like his brother. I asked him what the hardest part was. He said, "The hardest part wasn't jail. It was losing faith in people. I started to believe that being poor and black meant I was guilty until proven innocent. Dr. Wilson saved more than my future. He saved my faith. He showed me there are people who will fight for what's right." When I spoke to Dr. Wilson, he was humble. He said, "Someone had to help me once upon a time. This is how it works. We lift each other up." Today, Marcus volunteers and funds legal aid for wrongfully accused young people. He mentors kids from his old neighborhood. Dreams deferred, he told me, are not dreams denied. Sometimes the detour teaches you things you never would have learned on the straight path. Marcus Thompson's story reminds us that injustice is real and that being innocent, it's not always enough. Yeah, but it also reminds us that helpers exist, that good people will fight for what's right, that a stranger can step up and restore our faith in humanity. He asked me to end with this message for anyone facing their own impossible situation. Your current circumstances are not your final destination. Keep working, keep believing, and stay open to help. It might come from where you least expect it. Now, here's a question we'd like you to think about. After everything you've heard, who in your life could you be a helper for? What small act of support could change the course of someone's story? This has been Real Stories, Real Lives. Be the Dr. Wilson in someone else's life, okay? Until next time, keep believing in the power of human goodness.